Here it is, believe it or not, I actually have it in my hands right here. This is it, the thing that you're here to see, the OSMO Action from DJI. I've actually had this camera for about a month now, and I want to share my experience using it, but first, subscribe. This channel is all about filmmaking, photography, and vlogs, all sorts of fun stuff about the tech space when it comes to camera stuff. If that interests you, if you like having fun, if you like being goofy and awesome, then hit that subscribe button and enable the bell notification so you know exactly when my next video is coming out. Now, I've made two videos that are coming out today with the release of the OSMO Action. This one here that kind of explains what the camera is, what it can do, why I like it, some of the things that I found. And then another one reviewing it completely next to this one here, the GoPro Hero 7 WAC, or Black as some people call it. These two cameras are really kind of the best head-to-head right now. Sony makes an action camera, but GoPro is really what everybody talks about and everybody uses. So obviously we had to compare this camera with this camera. We made a whole video about it, so make sure to click the link below or the icon above to see that video. So without any further ado, let's get into the specs of the OSMO Action. First up, this camera has a 12 megapixel 1/2 inch sensor inside of it, which is kind of the same as your iPhone. It's a small sensor chip. This is not anything that's going to give you crazy depth of field. That's really what we're used to with action cameras. It's a small sensor, it's fine, but I wish it was a bigger sensor. The OSMO Action has a 1.4 inch massive touchscreen on the back. I love the fact that this thing is so big. It actually just engulfs the entire body of the camera, and I really love the screen on the back. It has a 140-degree field of view f2.8 lens. f2.8 is great, that's reasonably fast, but again, with that smaller sensor size, it's not gonna be the best in low light, but hey, f2.8 better than f4. A 1300 milliamp hour battery, which is removable, and it's got a nice kind of quick release system on it here. It's like a 1-2 punch kind of thing here. You click like this and then you click like that. Very Hasselblad kind of a thing. I know that Hasselblad and DJI work together a lot, so that's probably where that came from. This camera can take raw stills, which means you can take pictures using it and edit them in Lightroom with all that raw data. Great thing to have. But the big killer with this, of course, is the video features, and this camera is really no slouch when it comes to video performance. The maximum video resolution is 4K at 60 frames per second, and the maximum frame rate on this camera is 240 frames per second at 1080p. The maximum bit rate on this camera is 100 megabits per second in the 4K mode, and unfortunately that's only an H.264. The H.265 or HEVC, which we've seen in the Mavic Pro series, is not included on the OSMO Action, which means that you're not going to get the highest resolution possible. I hope maybe they can change that with the firmware update. You can do time lapse, you can do hyperlapse with this camera, again, really similar to other DJI products. One thing that isn't similar to other DJI products is the fact that this camera is completely waterproof up to 11 meters, and with the diving housing accessory you can go up to 60 meters, which means you can take this to the beach, you can take this to your swimming pool, and you can drop it in the toilet and be totally fine. I said that kind of like a country boy. Toilet. You could drop this here thing in the toilet right there, and it's gonna survive, no problem, right there in the little turd bucket right there in the toilet. There is voice control on this camera. I think that's a little bit of a gimmick, but hey, if you want to give it a shot, it can do it. You can say things like OSMO Action record and stop, and that's about it. So it's cool that it does that. I'm never going to use it. The button, it's right there. There's a button right there, it's fine. There's two microphones on the camera. DJI gave me this literally in a box wrapped in bubble wrap with no instruction manuals or no information. So I'm just gonna take a wild guess and say the microphones are right here in the front, and then maybe one up here on the top. So microphone under the lens, which is perfect for vlogs. Which leads me to the last feature that I wanna talk about with the OSMO Action, and that is the fact that it has a giant, well, it's not that giant, but a big front-facing screen for those